Yo, what is going on, Son of Jeddah? Hope you guys are doing well. If you don't recognize me, well, you should, because it's Jordan Elsass. I played Jonathan Kent on CW's Superman and Lois. If you guys haven't already subscribed to the channel, well, go subscribe to the channel right now. And also, happy Superman Day.
A few more surprises coming that we will be talking about. Some of it you can kind of slightly see behind me, but we're going to be talking about that in a little more detail later.
So we have two things over here. One is covered in a shroud. The other one is a picture frame. So, I mean, like, why should Superman fans be hyped?
Well, I mean, it's stuff that was autographed by actors themselves. I had to travel long distances, wait in long lines, and stay overnight, and it was a bit of a process to get to meet these people. Hopefully, you guys enjoy taking a glimpse at them.
We have the mysterious frame, things that will blow your minds away, especially if you guys are Superman fans, DC fans. So stay tuned. Okay guys, both of us are heading straight to Starbucks MR Square. We've got the stuff at the back. Son of Sparta bringing stuff.
Here's the main man coming down. Planet supersonic speed.
Special unboxing. Hello everyone and welcome to this very special vlog where we are celebrating Superman Day for the second year in a row. So you're looking at these premium format action figures of Superman, and then there is the mystery box, as I had promised you guys that the unboxing is going to be done today on the occasion. And then there is something at the back which is really special, and we're going to be showcasing that as well. But before we start with it, we are going to talk to some of our guests who were kind enough to join us in celebrating Superman Day. So first up, we have this youngster over here. Please introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Ahmed Kashif. I'm here for the Superman.
So what you've seen till now, what's your first impression about the items that you just saw?
They look good. Both of them look good. Even the back set of this postcard.
Okay. Okay. And then he is joined by his dad. People know him as Ideas X, one of the great content creators and OG Jeddawi story. He has been participating with us for a lot of events in the past. You might have remembered him from our previous vlogs and content. So, Ideas X, tell me.
Hi, how are you, everyone? Welcome to the Son of Jeddah's vlog. I tried to look like Lobo somehow, but no hair and much better looking face. The main reason I'm here is to support Son of Jeddah, and because my son is a big fan of the superhero characters. So it's an excellent event, and the models look amazing. So let's see what goes on next.
We're joined by one other major collector from Jeddah. He, Muhammad Al Fadl, but a lot of people know him for Saudi Collectibles. He has been known for collecting some amazing memorabilia, statues, premium format figures. I did a vlog at his house a few years ago, and I remain mesmerized with what I saw over there. So, Muhammad, this is your first time attending a Superman Day celebration.
Yes, first time.
Give us your first impressions.
Very nice. Very quite surprised of the revealing of the unboxing. Can't wait to see what is it going to be.
Awesome, awesome. You guys have really made our day by,
too.
taking out the time and coming all the way here to South Jeddah just to support the cause.
We're always here.
Thank you so much, Muhammad. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Son of Sparta.
Yep.
So you're ready?
Ready as we'll ever be. Very excited to get the ball rolling, to get us off the ground, and yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yalla. So you see these glasses, they have S, Superman's S on top of it. Okay, that is thanks to this wonderful lady over here. Her name is Fatin, and Fatin and her colleague Hassan, they were kind enough to basically make Superman logo on top of our guest drinks. So Fatin herself is a Superman fan. You start with your comment.
Hello, everyone. So we're here with this lovely box with our fans over here surrounding us. Best way to be opening an event. And we got this lovely box from Amazon. We got that logo up. And we're slowly going to be taking it out, looking at what it is. Lots of suspense. Wish we had a drum roll, but that's fine. So please, by all means, go ahead. Don't keep us in suspense.
Okay, so basically, this is based on the work of a superstar from the 90s from the world of comics, and it's related to Superman. And I would like to thank that member of the community who actually gifted me this item because he wanted me to unbox this. So, a huge thank you to him on this. Now, as Son of Sparta was saying, drum rolls. Okay, I would like Muhammad because Muhammad is a 80s kid, so I want to see if he recognizes who this is or which artist.
Okay.
Don't give the name if you know. Yeah, okay. So
Legendary artist, I should say. And put this to the back a little bit.
this
The name down there. Yep.
by Jim Lee, the man who dominated the 90s, still one of the best artists when it comes to DC Comics. He started his career with Marvel. This art of his remains my all-time favorite when it comes to Superman.
From Hush.
No, this isn't from the Hush.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
Yeah, this is a separate comic book, and I think this is from. I totally forgot which comic it was, but it's not Hush. That's what I'm sure. And he did something similar for Batman, which was slightly few months before.
That's why I thought it was, because they have a parallel covers that looks almost the same pose.
Yeah. So let's go with it.
So we're unboxing this for the very first time. This is history in the making.
Yep. And it comes with a digital card.
Very nice. I'm just noticing that it's not plastic. The it's actually made out of threads and it's stitched together. So that's a very nice touch.
Oh, yes. Yes, it has the similar structure to yours. It's the adjustable cape that allows us to create the pose. Now, the moment has arrived.
Dude, just first impression for me,
Yeah.
it's the shading. And if there's one thing that Jim Lee excels at, it's shading. And what that means, for those who are not familiar, it's making some parts look different by putting a different shade of blue on it. So you can see there's light blue on some parts, dark blue on other parts. So I love that Jim Lee is a master of doing that.
For me, I mean, this is a huge honor. First of all, I mean, somebody was kind enough to gift it to me, but somebody would gift me.
Can we say who that someone is?
He strictly asked not to be named. Even though I want, but the thing is, like, to be able to get the gift of an artwork that I love.
Absolutely.
Okay. And
so can we also mention that the logo is carved in there? It's not like one level.
Come on, guys.
So like the yellow parts are on the inside, the red parts are sticking out. That's a very nice touch.
It's like, they didn't print it.
Yep.
Now, it also comes with a digital card.
Yep.
So that we also have to see. I still haven't figured it out. What does it do?
It's probably for you to go online and look at stuff.
Okay, so we need to take out these wires. There are lots of wires, and I think we need to cut them.
I wonder, should I look for scissors?
Yeah, but the thing is, it might ruin statue.
Should we just do, for now, with just looking at?
It's gonna ruin the experience. Because I promised everyone I'm gonna be unboxing it, and the problem is that
we need something sharp.
Huh?
We need something sharp.
Yeah.
Scissors or knife or something.
It's coming out.
You still got to do 4 more.
Yeah. I hope so, brother. Because it's gonna be too near the statue. Yeah. It's a good thing. Check it out if you can.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
No, it's a bit tough.
Look back.
You can show it from the back. It's like,
there are wires.
Wires and layers of wires. No, this one is not possible in that way. I just need to figure it out. How did they basically okay, guys, thanks to Ideas X, who really knew how to basically unpack this. We cut off all those wires that are there to basically, keep the statue glued to the packaging.
You had to use heat vision.
Okay, so now the moment of truth. Here comes our boy in blue.
We're going to edit in some sound effects.
Now there is one. Go for it, bro.
Pull it out as much as you can.
Let's take out our Boy Scout, the boy in blue.
Finally.
There is. Oh, yes.
Oh my.
Oh, boy. This has been a tough unboxing because you guys know I'm an action figures guy. I don't collect statues, nor do I collect premium format figures. So I'm more used to those Marvel Legends and DC Multiverse action figures by McFarlane.
Just yank him out, I think.
You just pull the statue. Let me, in the meantime, see if I can.
There.
Alhamdulillah.
Dude, wires and capes, I feel like is the best thing since bread. Since the invention of bread, this is the greatest thing ever.
Guys, you're looking at it, and if I'm looking at it from my side, it looks exactly like Jim Lee's art.
I think there's a card.
Yes, there is. That's the digital card. I still don't know this one, right? This one.
The other box.
The other box?
No, there.
There is. Oh, yeah. There is. He's right. Muhammad's right.
That's the original artwork.
Man, thanks a lot, bro. He's a true collector. Okay, now how do we rip it open? Scissor.
You know what else we didn't notice? It has a. Is that a plastic stand?
Yes.
Perfect.
This, I am a trading card collector. I have the X-Men trading cards. This is my first ever DC trading cards. I don't know why DC Comics never went with the trading card bit, just like Marvel. And to me, this is beautiful. I just love the art. A lot of people complained that there's not much information behind the card, but I'm okay with it. Why? Because it's just so satisfying to hold it. You guys want to check it out? We have to. We will do it right now. Bro.
Yep.
Okay, so now let's first of all see where our. Okay, so this is
Foot and the statue, right?
first the frontal pose and then the side pose. Or in fact, let's just do it the way it is in the art. I think this is how it's going to appear in the camera.
Yep. And then the cape will sort of.
Okay,
fly up
guys.
this way.
Yeah, let's just try to recreate this cape effect.
Should I?
Please.
So,
Leon.
don't know if the wires are strong enough. Oh, they might just be. So this is as close as we're going to get, I think. We'll keep trying. Dude, almost perfect. Look at that. Almost just 1-to-1.
1-to-1 ratio. Yeah, let's read it.
Go ahead, bro. Do the honors.
Muhammad. Okay. Real name, Kal-El Clark Kent. Adoptive name, faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive. The Man of Steel fights a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and the American way.
Oh, they left that in there.
Man, oh man. Reagan. But to be precise, historically, it's Reagan. Awesome. Okay, guys, we're going to be starting with our next segment, which is going to be discussion about Superman. Since we are all together who have been diehard fans of Superman since 1980s, except for this kid over here because
he wasn't around.
he's the Gen Z representative. We are the Gen X and the early millennials. So we're going to be talking about Superman. So it's going to be really interesting to have perspective from the older generation as well as the up and coming generation.
We're going to be showcasing this lovely poster. And I have to give credit where credit's due. My lovely wife was able to put this together. I had this poster, but she got a backdrop for it. And we put most of the DC Universe actors in this poster. So starting with the crown jewel up here is the Justice League, minus Ben Affleck, who was not there that day. But I got Henry Cavill, Ezra Miller, Ray Fisher, and Jason Momoa is going to be the new DC Universe moving forward. So Henry Cavill, with his much hated stash at the time, because he was contracted to keep the stash for his character in Mission Impossible, and they had to CGI the stash out for Justice League. It was a fun day, had by all. As you can see, those two guys sitting next to me tower over me. They're huge, and I didn't know that they would be. Henry Cavill's also a big guy, but he wasn't standing to fit everyone in the picture. And then moving downwards down there, we got Zachary Levi, who played Shazam. Really cool dude, gave us a gooey face that day. I think I might have been first or second in line for him that day back in Philadelphia. Had to travel some way to get to him, but it was a great day. He was a fun dude to be around. Moving downwards, we got the star of Gotham, David Mazouz, I believe his name is. Yep, he played Bruce Wayne for 5 years on Gotham and then donned the cowl towards the very end of the series. Also, worth knowing, my dear best friend who passed away some years ago was with me that day. We're all wearing Batman. David is the only one wearing a Superman shirt for some odd reason. But and then moving on, we got Sean Purdy, who played Alfred, and Ben McKenzie at a different convention. I managed to get a photo with those two. All right. So we got Ben McKenzie and Sean Purdy, who play respectively Jim Gordon and Alfred on the series. And then not present here, I got to look for it, but recently I was able to get a picture with the other cast member from Gotham, Marina Baccarin, who is Ben McKenzie's wife. They met on the show and they got married, and very cool of them to met at a different convention very recently, I think 2 years ago. And then down here in the corner, we got Arrow, Stephen Amell, who was here in Saudi a couple of years ago, Comic-Con Arabia. So I met him, and then at the convention where he was here, he signed the picture I had with him. He's a little younger in this picture, as was I, but you can see his autograph kind of looks like an arrow, and that's pretty cool. I love when celebrities incorporate their character into their autograph. So much appreciated that we got that. So the reason I'm wearing a Batman logo is because Ben Affleck wasn't there. I wanted to represent. I was very glad and fortunate to have got the entire Justice League minus Batman. Hopefully someday I'll meet him, though he doesn't do a lot of conventions. And then again, we got this backdrop with the new 52 iteration of the entire DC universe. Then we got a little box over here that had the Hot Toys that we're going to be looking at. Over here, with David Corenswet. Yep, the most recent iteration of the Man of Steel with wired cape and the Fortress of Solitude stand with a magnet. That I feel like Hot Toys did their best job with this. The likeness is there. It has the rolling eyes feature that you can put them in any direction. I like having a neutral look that he can just look forward. So really nice job with this. And then we got the statue that we just unveiled. Really nice. It looked perfectly like the artwork by Jim Lee. And then going back to Henry Cavill, this is the iteration by Hot Toys of Batman v Superman. He's got that angry look. He's about to beat the Dark Knight. And then it comes with a very unique logo of the two insignias intertwined. So that's a nice touch.
Yeah. Okay, so we're back, and this is our last segment for Superman Day, where we are going to be talking about the importance of our favorite superhero, the first ever superhero that gave birth to an entire new genre when it came to superheroism. And we're gonna be basically talking about the movies and the animation and the comics, everything to it. So, guys, what does it mean to be celebrating Superman Day in Jeddah? I'll start with our guest who came in for the very first time, Muhammad.
Well, for me, Superman is the first superhero that ever came out. Yes, he's the truth and justice and the American way, but still, he have place in everybody's heart.
He's a global icon. But what does it mean for you to be part of a Superman activity organized by the community, our community of which you are a part of, all of us are a part of? How do you feel about
I feel like it needs more support. And over here, we don't have anything for either Superman or any other superhero.
we are working towards that? And tell us something about, like, you're seeing, I mean, uh, uh, three of us, at least, or four of us grew up with Superman adaptation that starred Christopher Reeve. We saw Henry Cavill. We saw David Corenswet. We grew up watching Superman the animated series, where Tim Daly was a voiceover actor. So, and then we read comics. And there is a very important phase for anyone here in Saudi Arabia, because those of us who are 80s kids, we remember the Arabic comics. And for those of us who didn't read Arabic comics, we would import them. So, like, that I, for example, feel really, how should I say, like, that feeling that we've come a long way. Because in Saudi Arabia, comics weren't widely available, and they were available, they were in Arabic. So we had to, look into other means. So what does that mean for you, right?
We came a long way right now from the past until now. Things have changed, of course,
For the better.
for the better. Right now, people are reading more English comics than Arabic
Arabic
comics.
ones, yeah.
So they're getting introduced to new stuff, new stories, and new artwork.
Awesome. Ideas X, would you like to say something?
Well, I am the dinosaur in the group, the oldest. I won't say how old, but yes. For me, the first superhero I wasn't used to was Grenadizer. But yes, Superman was the first one that is from DC Comics or from the English comic universe, that is. And it was amazing. I mean, the child, when we saw, we were waiting to watch the animations and the cartoons and how he stood for justice, for the righteousness. And when kids were always said that we'll become a policeman or a firefighter, we were the generation who said that we want to be Superman.
I agreed. Agreed. Okay, Ahmed, you are Ideas X son. You represent the Gen Z. But
That generation.
how much difference do you see when it comes? Because I know for a fact that you have always been a fan of Superman. Okay, that's what your dad told me. And anytime we would come across a video or a reel of you guys, you would be like rooting for Superman more than any other. So you heard what your dad said about why Superman is his favorite. What makes you fall in love with Superman?
He gives people hope, and also he he's like Man of Steel. He is the great man. Like he promises the world to be a better place for the people in Metropolis in US, like that. Also, if right now where today it was popular, in the past it was sort of comic. Now it's been like generational, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good way of a hero that was been popularized by the people, and it is really good.
Okay, and your generation, who's your favorite live action Superman? For us, uh, correct me if I'm wrong, all of us, our favorite is Christopher Reeve, Superman 78. But for you guys, who is your favorite Superman actor to play Superman?
Like both actors, Henry Cavill and David Corenswet.
If you have to choose between the two,
I don't know. Both of them are good. Both of them are good.
we have a Snyder cultist.
Like, for Henry Cavill, he was good. His acting was good as well, even the Superman. But he's like more serious, kind of like the Batman version. As well, David Cornsworth, he was starting new, like got more beaten up, but it was a comic accurate, good Superman,
So would you say he represents hope?
and he also represents hope, but also with kind of fear.
Understood.
Yes, that Smallville was a series that actually brought in the Superman craze back into the Gen Z's generation.
Son of Sparta,
Oh my gosh. So
the guy who brought in these premium format action figures, and the guy who had the privilege of meeting the entire cast, well, almost entire cast of Zack Snyder's Justice League and Shazam, much of the DC live action royalty he met. How do you feel, man? Sorry for cutting in, but last year he was kind enough to bring that poster, which was signed by Henry Cavill and Tom Welling. So he is the proud owner of that poster. By the way. Sorry for cutting in, but I had to make bring this.
So to me, this character, and it's very well known, it's no secret, though it's a little bit of an unpopular opinion, that this is the story of an immigrant.
Yeah.
Who comes to this planet because he lost his own.
Yes.
And he has known no other home. And he was raised by farmers. And he was raised to be a good man. And that was his origin story. There's nothing that he gained powers. Well, he did sort of gain powers growing up from the Yellow Sun, but he was asked not to abuse those powers. His parents told him, "You have to live like everyone else for now. We don't want you to be beating up on people. You cannot be the bully." And that's why he grew up a very quiet life. Very people in Smallville knew that he had powers.
Right.
It wasn't until he grew up and moved to Metropolis is when he started to practice using those powers to save lives. So that is sort of the unpopular opinion that even Superman actor Dean has gone against.
Unfortunately, and yes, I was having a discussion. In fact, I did an interview for one of the most recognized authorities right now when it comes to history of Superman. His name is Roy Schwartz. He's a pop culture writer and a Superman historian. In fact, he is one of those few lucky individuals who actually saw the manuscript of Jerry Siegel. He saw it. So it's way more deeper than that. And I think what I really appreciate, and how should I say, James Gunn, I really want to thank him that, he reminded people that being kind is not something wrong. And that was the
not a
message.
weakness.
Yeah, it's not a weakness. And I think that was the message that was being conveyed by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster back in the 30s. Am I right to say that?
Oh, absolutely. Can we add that James Gunn, for one thing, out of the kindness of his heart, that he shot a lot of the movie, the new Superman movie, in Cleveland, where the authors are from,
Yes.
Joe Shuster and Jerry Siegel.
Yes.
And if anyone were to ever go to Cleveland Airport, there is a Superman statue in the airport.
Mhm.
But the folks over there thought that wasn't enough. I believe it was last year. They unveiled a brand new life-size Superman statue
Yes, they
in
did.
downtown Cleveland. So kudos to the folks over there who were responsible for making that happen. It was a huge unveil. Hopefully we'll get to see it in person someday. But yeah, lots of appreciation for those authors down there.
Okay, now let's just try to wrap up our discussion. If I have to ask each and every one of you what Superman Day is all about, you have to give me one word.
Hard work.
Work. Okay.
Long history. Long history.
I'm going to cheat a little and use two words: compassion for people.
Here I'm going to agree with the future of geekdom in Jeddah. Ahmed, that I always see hope, because in the end, that is the thing that sets apart these superheroes from the mythic legends of the past. These legends that our grandparents or great grandparents would talk about, they had brute force. They had a lot of charisma and everything, but what they did not have was kindness and, as you have said, compassion.
Can I ask our fellow panelists one more question? If you had to pick one Superman moment, whether it's from the comics, movies, TV show, what is your moment that you feel resonates the most with you?
For me, the moment that stuck in my mind is from the movie Superman versus Batman, Martha. I cannot get it out. Get it out of my head.
I want to.
Where is she?
I want to actually defend that. So I want to defend that moment and just say that in his moment of weakness, where he's about to die, he doesn't care about identity or anything. He's telling the person who might potentially kill him, Batman, "Please save this woman."
His mom's name is not Martha.
Right? Yeah. He never met her. he knows the mother that raised him and whatnot. And in his moment of desperation, he asks Batman to save her. And it just so happens in the comics that Batman's mother had the same name. It was a very old-fashioned common name back in the day.
Yeah.
Mm.
So a lot of people hate that moment. It's very debatable among our community,
Mhm.
but it resonates with some, not with others. Go ahead.
I don't know which one. Sorry.
I like the fight between Superman and what's his name? No, the other guy, the Kryptonite who had the S black.
General Zod.
I like the
General Zod.
General Zod and Doomsday.
From the movies or even from the animes, the animation series have great moments for Superman. There are some amazing animations that has Superman moments. So yeah.
How many of us here have read comics of Superman, collected comics?
Not me.
Neither
And not
you?
him as well.
Smart.
Okay,
Yeah.
when it comes to comics, you basically leaves me and Son of Sparta. So I'm gonna ask Son of Sparta the most memorable comic for Superman.
Can we mention first the media and then we'll come back to the comments?
Please do.
So from the media, I have, I'm going to talk about two moments here. So very recently, I believe the season 3 finale
Mhm.
of Superman and Lois,
Yes.
where he fights Doomsday.
Right.
I have very much respect to Batman v Superman because I do like that movie, but that season finale between them was on the streets. It was in the sewers. It went to the moon. It was so epic. It was probably the best live action fight between Superman and Doomsday that I've ever seen.
And it's the best fight even in the comic book history.
Yep, he does take out his heart in the end of the fight. It's amazing. And then going back to Christopher Reeve, while he's in the pool and he's wearing the kryptonite necklace,
Yeah.
and then all he can think about is saving those people.
Yes.
And then Mr. Smocker, because of course she wants to save her mom, she saves him. But that's all he is that in his weakest moment, he wants to save the little guy.
He's not thinking about himself.
Yep. And then going back to the comics, I would say one moment that defined the generation for a long time back in the 90s, the death of Superman. I feel like that was an event that covered a very long time in the comics. It was in the news. It was all people could talk about. How dare DC at the time? People were saying, how dare DC kill the most iconic character in comics? And it went on for a very long time. And, characters come back, and he did. But it was a very long time of us saying, is he going to come back? How is he going to come back? And we had the Eradicator, we had Superboy, we had Cyborg Superman, we had Steel. And it was a matter of, is one of these guys going to take the mantle from now on? And, eventually he came back, but it was a big deal. And they made a couple of animated movies and animated series about it. And it's a story that till this day resonates with a lot of people.
For me, it will always be Alan Moore's For the Man Who Has Everything, because that is the story where we are finally able to understand what is, because Superman is always thinking about others. Superman is always thinking about saving other people. But what does he want for himself? What is his version or view of an ideal life? The life he always wanted. And that story is pretty tragic to read once you start noticing that. And that, I'm glad, story was adapted by Bruce Timm in the Justice League animated series. So that would be it. Our discussion. Yeah, please.
Yeah, I just want to make two recommendations if possible. There is an animated movie called All Star Superman. Amazing movie. Yes, thank you. Amazing movie where I guess the premise is he's believed to be dying, but he shares practically everything about his life with Lois towards the end. And the other one, I can't remember, it was, I guess, based on the New 50, I can't remember the exact title, but it might have been The Death of Superman or Superman Doomsday, something like that, Justice League Doomsday, I believe it's called, where he hadn't told Lois his identity yet. And as the Justice League is fighting Doomsday, he gets a call about an impending doom. And he finally just tells her. He leaves a note saying, I love you, I'm Superman, or something like that, and goes off to fight Doomsday and dies. I feel like that was perfectly done.
Ahmed, before we bring the discussion to a close, you wanted to say
Yeah,
something?
I forgot to add something in. I forgot there was one difference as well in these two actors. Henry Cavill's parents were good, but David Corenswet's parents, like as Superman, they were evil. They were evil, yeah.
Yeah, you mean Jor-El.
Both of them were evil.
I feel like because of that video, right?
Ahmed,
I feel like we're gonna slowly find out the truth of that. I having it very hard to believe that Jor-El, who was immensely known in the comics for being a good guy, would say something like that. So I feel like we're gonna slowly find out the truth because in Supergirl they're gonna talk a little bit more about Krypton and its destruction.
with that, our very thought-provoking discussion comes to an end. A special thanks to Ideas X, his son Ahmed, Muhammad Al Fadl, son of Farda, as always.
You guys for joining us, and we hope that next year or in the coming events we'll get to see more of you. We're very glad to have some people here, and it's always a pleasure having anyone with us. So we'll see you guys next time.
Just on that note, we're going to be celebrating next month X-Men Day, which is in mid-May. And then we'll be celebrating Spider-Man Day. And in September, it will be Batman Day. So please make sure to join us for these celebrations. Let's show that Jeddah has a strong superhero fandom alive and well. Up, up.
And away.